Warming up is really important. Yeah, absolutely. It's impossible to sing well without a warm-up. And it's the equivalent, I always tell my students, it's the equivalent of going to the gym. If you weren't to warm up before you were singing, you would go to the gym and lift 200 pounds right from the start. And that's not, although singing is not weightlifting, that would hurt. It wouldn't feel too good. So the warm-up is to get the muscles released and ready to go, and ready to be at your beck and call. And until you've done that, you shouldn't be using them. So that's why I say every morning. I used to wait. I used to go in early on in my teaching career. I used to go in and just teach without warming up. And I found that by the end of the day, I could hardly talk, and I found I wasn't using my voice in the right way. And so now, every morning, whatever, 7:30, I'm sorry, neighbors. I just do a nice warm-up. And for the warm-up, there are many things. Number one, first goal would be get the breath flow going. And there are many things you can do. There are things called lip trills. And you make a sound, of course. And then there are things called raspberries, which I actually prefer, which I'm sure everybody's done a raspberry. Stick your tongue out and make that sound. And then add a sound to that. And that makes sure that you're producing a sound with airflow. And that's the key to a healthy voice. Because you can make a sound that's more pressure-driven, that kind of, oh, and that's not healthy. Some people might like it, so you can't really argue aesthetics, but it's not healthy, and I can't argue that. If it's too pressured a sound, it'll injure the voice over time. So airflow's first, those little things, and then scales. Scales, and I always start from the top down. Always from the top down, because it goes with the natural breath cycle. If you breathe in, you're dealing with pressures. If you breathe in, you have more lung pressure than at the end of the breath cycle. And it, in general, takes more air pressure to produce a higher note than a lower note. So if you start a voice at the bottom, after they've breathed in, before they've sung, obviously you have to be able to do that once you're warmed up. But if you start them there, you sort of set them up to fail. And so I always start, vocalizes, the vocal exercises from the top down, and then you can do everything after that. Like the first 3 exercises are always top-down exercises. Yeah, and then mix it up.